Welcome back to the Marching to Madness College Basketball Podcast this morning, where I have my good friend Mike Jones of the UNC Greensboro Spartans. He had a top defensive squad last year. The Spartans gave up only 27.5 two-point shots. That was the best in college basketball at only 13.3 makes, which was the third best. Coach, it's great to see you.
Ken, it's good to see you again, man. It's been a long time, and it's good to be back on your podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been too long. Hey, Coach, before we get in and move forward to this season, what was it about your defense last year that gave up such small numbers in the makes and the shots departments?
Well, I mean, we knew last year that we had to be really good defensively to have a chance to win. We just did not have the offensive firepower because of personnel that we hoped we would have. So we knew that in order to have a chance night in and night out against, tough opponents, non-conference, and certainly in the Southern Conference, that we had to be terrific defensively. And I thought that we got close to being terrific. We certainly kept people from shooting layups, but we fouled too much. We turned it over too much, which allowed them to get out in transition. But I was certainly pleased with our defensive effort last year.
Yeah, now you have 5 starters returning, and your big man, Bas, is that right?
Yeah, Bas Leyte.
Yeah, Bas Leyte. There we go. He's your leading returning scorer now. He's a 6'10" forward. He shot 58% from the floor last year.
Yeah, Bas he really took advantage of the opportunity to play. He hadn't played much, less than double-figure minutes in the previous years, and so when he got the opportunity to play more and then eventually to start, he really took advantage of it. He's got high basketball IQ. He plays extremely hard. He's a tough kid, and he's got really good feel and touch around the basket, and he's a good passer. So he's got a lot of qualities that we love about him, and he was able to use those to make an impact on our team offensively last year, and I think he's going to be even better this year.
I like a big man. It's a good passer because when he gets that double team, it's just in his eyes right there, and then making that play for like a layup.
Yeah, no question, man. We have a group of bigs that can pass the ball, which is exciting because, like you say, they're always attracting attention down there, and if they're able to just make a simple play, whether it's a pass to their partner inside or a kick out for a shot, it makes our offense more efficient.
Kobe and Keyshawn Langley are twins from Guilford County. They went to high school, I think, at one of the schools inside, the county.
Yep, Southwest Guilford.
Southwest Guilford, yes, sir. Talk about the leadership they show your program.
Yeah, they, those guys have been through the wars. I mean, going back to their middle school days when they were on a nationally ranked AAU team and, won a couple of AAU championships, playing against the best competition in the country. So these guys have been battle tested. They also have a dad who played at UNCG, who was a great player. He was a point guard. They had 2 older brothers that were point guards. So they almost like basketball royalty. They grew up, playing the game and learning the game. And playing it at a high level. So they just come in with natural leadership ability. Kobe, he's outgoing. He's got a lot of charisma. People flock to him. Key's quiet, but he's got an inner strength and toughness that, suits him well and helps our team tremendously. So, these guys are a dynamic group. And like I told them, I'm going to unleash them on the country this year. I'm going to let them go.
There you go. It's really cool. They've got 2 different basketball personalities to be brothers like that.
Yeah, to be twins. They're fraternal twins, so they don't look exactly alike. But I mean, they're always together. They look out for each other, so they act like twins. But the fact that they are different. Kobe is a unbelievable defensive player who we really lean on to create pressure on the other team's guards. And Key is just a terrific shooter and scorer. So, to have 2 guys instead of just one is a luxury for us.
You got Dante Tracy. He was a transfer from Robert Morris before last season. What do you look for from him? He's a guard,
Dante,
right?
yeah, he's a point guard as well. So we try to play two point guards at all times, just so,
Mhm.
and not necessarily point guards, but playmakers that can, do things and help other people get shots as well as help themselves get shots. So Dante's another playmaker for us. He has been our most consistent guy from the start of summer to now. So he's poised to have a really good senior year. Um, he's a guy that just does a lot of the right things. To be honest, he listens to everything that we ask him to do. He does it exactly that way, and consequently, he's seen a lot of growth and maturity in his game in the last year. So I'm excited to see how he does this year.
You have Mohammed Abdul Salam, another good shooter from that post at 53.9%. Now, what makes him such a quality scorer?
Uh, he's a wide load, man. He's a big dude. He takes up a lot of space down there. He's not afraid to be physical on both sides of the ball. And he's probably, well, I don't want to say definitely, but he's one of the best teammates I've ever been privileged to coach. I mean, he cares so much about his team on both sides of the ball. He doesn't care if he scores. He's trying to do anything he can to help his team win, and that's what makes him special for us.
Very good. Now, I saw a transfer here from VCU that I remember when he signed up there, Michael Brown Jones. He
Mikhail. Mm-hmm.
McHale, my bad, McHale. Mikhail Brown Jones. Now he'll contribute to your attack with offense and defense as you have a good group of solid transfers.
Yeah, Mikhail is a special talent. He's somebody that we have not had. You know, Not even going back to my days at Radford. We haven't had an athletic big who can affect shots at the rim, who's can screen, roll, and get a dunk, who runs the floor like a deer. So he's got a lot of gifts. Particularly his athleticism in the front court at his size really helps us. So he can. He's versatile. He can play a couple of different positions. He's agile enough to guard on the perimeter. So he gives us a lot of versatility.
Yeah, and it sounds like he's got a lot of length as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's got long arms, and he fits the mold of a basketball player.
Yeah. Now you guys average 6.4 steals per game and you forced about 12 turnovers. Talk about your defensive philosophy in your team being able to make this happen, right away, as last year was your first season.
Yeah, we it was a blessing that the former staff they also value defense and toughness and grittiness, and so that fit right along with our philosophy as well. We wanted guys that took pride in the defensive side of the ball. So many players around this country, they care about their offense, but they're not willing to do the dirty work to
Oh
be a
yeah.
good defensive team. So we had a group that we inherited from the previous staff that also valued those things. So when we got them, it was an easy transition for us to also say, hey, we believe in the same things. We just do it a little bit differently. We had some subtle differences between our two styles, but the main philosophy was that we were going to be tough, gritty, hard nosed, and we had players that fit that mold. And we also brought in a few in the transfer portal last year that also had that philosophy. So yeah, it was a easier transition because of that fact.
Coach, as you think about defense, do you and then other teams you may scout have as much depth in your defensive playbook as most people have in the offensive playbook?
Well, we did not last year, but we do this year.
Mhm.
We're certainly going to give teams some different looks. We didn't play as much zone last year. We didn't press as much. We're going to try to do some different things because we're deeper, because we have some more versatility in our front court, because we have bigger size in some of our guards off the bench. We're going to, try to, give some teams some different looks and play it by ear. Some teams man to man is going to be sufficient. Our pressure can cause problems, but other teams, maybe they don't shoot as well, or they try to drive it so much we might have to play some more zone. And then some teams may only have one ball handler, so it gives us the versatility to go and apply some full court pressure to them. So I'm excited about the versatility of our team from top to bottom.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, I was curious, your thoughts on college basketball now having so many older transfers across the country.
Yeah, I mean, the old saying was, get old in college basketball
And stay old.
and stay old. But back in the day, 10 years ago, you had to recruit a good freshman and develop them for 3 or 4 years until they got old. Now you can get old right away. You can lose a kid who's a sophomore and you can bring in a senior. You can lose a junior and bring in a grad transfer. So it allows you to get older quicker. Sure. But you also have to integrate those guys into your system. I remember when John Calipari was one of the first coaches to embrace this one and done thing. And I said, man, this is only going to be a problem for high majors, but now, you look at it 5 years later, we all got to deal with, a team that's, different from year to year, dramatically different from year to year. So, last year, I think we had 6 newcomers. This year we have 6 newcomers. So I think it's here to stay for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Last question, Coach Jones, just your thoughts. There's been some rumors out that we may see expansion of the NCAA tournament. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm definitely not for that. I think we've got a perfect formula right now. I think that's, the proof in that is how much money these TV companies are giving to the NCAA tournament, to college basketball. So, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And, if you start messing with it and it doesn't end up being the same just because, somebody thinks that's a good idea to add more teams, I think it has the potential to water down, the accomplishments of teams that do make the tournament if you go more teams. The one thing I definitely don't want to see, I do not want to see the team that's 500 or under 500 in a major conference get in over a mid-major or low-major team that's had an incredible year. That's just not.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's not what makes the tournament exciting. It doesn't reward. We shouldn't be a society that rewards mediocrity. We should be a society that rewards excellence. And I believe that, low majors and high mid majors bring a lot more to the table, when they have a great year than a middle of the road high major team.
Sure. And I mean, it's like St. Peter's last year, going to the Elite Eight. I mean, to me, there's a prime example of what you're talking about.
Well, shoot, I was a part of one. I was at VCU, and we got an at-large bid. We had a really good year. We got an at-large bid and played in the first ever First Four, and we made it to the Final Four. And there was nothing more exciting. There's nothing more exciting, in any tournament than the run that we made. And so we wouldn't have had that run had they, decided, let's take, a Big Ten team that was, 8-8 in the league or 7-9. And let them go. So, I'm all for, us mids and low majors to be able to get into the tournament after a good year and try to make a run like St. Peter's did.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I was just curious. I've been asking that question across the boards, and everybody's similar, like your idea and my idea, which we're the same on that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yep. Let's hope they keep it that way.
Let's hope so. Yeah. Coach Mike Jones at UNC Greensboro, one of the best interviews in college basketball. I've known him for a while since you were at Radford with those Highlanders. Coach, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, Ken, thank you so much, man. Appreciate what you do for college basketball.
Thanks a lot. I love doing it.